Howdy ho ho, my good humans. How the hell are you all doing? Hope everyone out there is doing well. This is Unnecessary Rambling. I'm Brandon Sylvia. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, for stopping by to talk some PS5 pickups. I have quite the list that has been sitting there stacking. Try to put them off to the side that way I can remember to make a video about them. But yeah, we got, I don't know, 12 or so games here to talk about. So let's not waste any more of your time and dive into what I have been playing and kind of picking up and yeah, just PS5 games I've picked up lately. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I picked up this limited run release of High on Life, game I played last year on Game Pass, or what's that? 2000 and might have been 2022 actually. But I really enjoyed it. I'm not like a Rick and Morty guy. Not an anti Rick and Morty guy. I've just never watched it. And with this, coming from that creative team and then, them starting up Squanch Games and yeah, making a comedy driven first person shooter with that amount of just non-stop talking and non-stop, bit after bit after bit. I was worried that it was going to get a little bit grating, a little bit old. And I can see for some people that it might have. I can understand that criticism, but man, I really enjoyed High on Life a lot. Like I found that game genuinely fucking hilarious. And just the over the top crude humor, like it really, really landed for me. And I think the thing that surprised me most about High on Life was just the fact that the gameplay was really strong, really fun. Just like moving around, the kind of platforming exploration elements, which I never really expect much from that department out of first person shooters. It was really good in High on Life. Really strong story, funny as hell. Definitely recommend it. And it was just one I was like, yeah, I would love to have this in the collection. And I found it weird, you know, this is one where you would think that it, day one, you'd be able to get this thing physically with big bold writing somewhere on it from the creators of Rick and Morty. We bring you high on like I don't know. That just seems like a pretty easy sell for a lot of people who are walking around Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, whatever the case. Like, oh shit, we love Rick and Morty. Maybe we'd love this game from the creators of Rick and Morty. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Picked this up at GameStop, as you see there, $20. I fucking loved. I played it when it came out in 2020 or whatever, but I never ended up finishing it. And it's one that I definitely would like to, because I put 15, maybe 20 hours into it, and absolutely adored the game, but I never beat it. So it's one I would like to go back to on the PS5. It's just cool as shit to get to relive that story. The story, the DBZ story that I grew up on and see it all fleshed out like that in game form. It's crazy because like growing up, I love Dragon Ball Z, and to think about that style of Dragon Ball Z game, that would like always be my dream Dragon Ball Z game. Open world, action adventure, free roam, explore, and then you're pretty much only playing fighting games, which they were great. The Budokai games and shit, they were great, but that was really Kakarot was like my dream DBZ game as a kid, and getting to see it brought to life in whatever 2020 or 2019, just adored it. And yeah, that was one that I didn't even know it was getting a PS5 release because I have it on PS4. I didn't know it was getting a next gen update or upgrade or whatever. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, $20, count me in. Stella Blade, played through this, finished this. Um, I think that Stellar Blade is one of the more not underrated because it's maybe over discussed, but for all the wrong reasons, seemingly. Like all the sexuality and all of that shit is very, very secondary to me about what makes Stellar Blade so good. Stellar Blade is just like a really well made game, incredible action combat, not too soulsy, just kind of old school action game. And also the kind of the same thing I was saying about High on Life, just the traversal, the puzzle solving. There's a couple puzzles in Stellar Blade that like, damn man, really, really strong. Something I did not expect at all from a more character action driven experience. I was not expecting good puzzle solving. Story, maybe not so great, but there were some great environments, some great, like, really cinematic moments that at least made you slightly give a shit about what was going on in the narrative. And yeah, performance. Dude, this thing is a technical powerhouse. Never hitches, never stutters, never drops a frame, just smooth as butter, man. Stellar Blade is a really, really good game. I picked up Sandland. This came out the same day as Stellar Blade. That was a pretty big mistake. I've started to realize, like, sometimes I'm gonna have to just make a tough decision. If there's a game that comes out on the same day as a title I'm like really excited for, I'm gonna have to. And that's the weird thing. I was actually more excited for Sandland than Stellar Blade whenever they launched, but then Stellar Blade got really good reviews, and I was just really shocked by the amount of positivity surrounding that game from the people who played it. Um, and I was like, oh, let me just see what this is about. I was just a little bit more curious, and then fell into a really good groove. I was like, damn, this is fun as shit. And then so I went back to Sandland, and at that point, I wasn't really feeling another open world experience because, like I said, I've had these games stacking for a while, and played Banishers this year and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this year and Outcast and a bunch of open world games. I was like, damn, I'm not really in the mood for another open world game, but I did play about 7, 8 hours of it. I really liked what I played. It's one I would definitely love to go back to at some point. The being able to customize your mechs and your little tanks and shit, and have that Mad Maxi style experience, and then going in stealth with the characters, and just, of course, Akira Toriyama. This art style is so charming and so timeless. His artwork is just absolutely timeless. So it's cool to see it depicted in game form. But yeah, that's one I'd like to go back to at some point. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Just had to grab the PS5 copy of it. Two of the greatest games of all time. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 in particular, one of my favorite games ever made. Real bummer that that 3 and 4 was scrapped by Activision. I'm hoping, now new leadership, needing some Game Pass content. Maybe we can get that 3 and 4 from from Activision, but really what I want is Underground. Underground 1 and 2 are my favorite Tony Hawk games of all time. Um and two of my favorite games of all time, period. Just so damn fun. But do I really expect that we'll ever see that? Not not really. Baldur's Gate 3. It finally arrived. I'll put in some B-roll of like the full collector's edition. If I try to pull it out here, it'll be falling all over the place and shit. But Baldur's Gate 3, dude. Oh boy. Um, so I talked about it a little bit on the channel. I don't want to fucking go back into the details, but I had a bit of a medical scare, and right when I got home from the hospital, I see Baldur's Gate 3, or FedEx package sitting by my mailbox, and I'm like, I know what that is. I'm pretty sure I know what that is. And yeah, it was just the wrong time to jump into this game. My brain it was going 800 other different directions, and I'm trying to process the complexity of Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, yeah, man, you're gonna need a fresh start with this. And to be completely fair, it wasn't the complexity that really, because I played, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours, something like that. It really wasn't the complexity that threw me off of it. It was more just the speed. If I could have sped up combat, maybe, if I can, let me know in the comments if you can just speed up the combat encounters. Because I was really digging the world and the characters and the interaction between the characters, and like even the dice roll elements, and just some of the environmental interaction, like, oh shit, okay, there's this like boulder thing hanging above what looks to be a surface that can be cracked, and now I got to figure out, okay, I'm gonna use a range character to shoot at this boulder. I'm gonna try to cut it down, or like these sort of environmental interactions that are just so, it feels like so rare in RPGs. And the game world just felt so much more dynamic. Like I had so much more control over how I would like break into certain areas, and like it was, I was really compelled by all of that shit. The combat was just boring, man. it was just such a slog and so slow to me. And I knew that that was probably going to be an issue going into it, but I didn't expect it to be that slow. And maybe that's just my fucking ADHD brain or whatever that I need to need to just get over it and kind of embrace the pace. But yeah, I was like, golly, this is really, really slow. So next up here we have Life is Strange True Colors, and I probably should go ahead and I know these aren't PS5 pickups, but I went ahead and grabbed the Life is Strange kind of full, list of titles. Life is Strange 1 and then fucking Before the Storm and also Life is Strange 2 there with a little bit of glare on it. Is this loose? No. Okay. Um, so I played through Life is Strange 1 and I was very shocked by the depth of that game, like where it went. And I'll talk about this more in a later video. We're going to do Loon and I are going to get together and do our rankings, ranking every game we played in June and July. But I was so surprised with the direction they were headed in that narrative. I was like, holy shit, are they about to, this is some dark subject matter that they're sort of skirting around. And I wish they would have fully fleshed out that story arc, but it seemed that Don't Nod was really, really obsessed with the time manipulation stuff. And it felt like they would get so close to telling really compelling individual stories, and then the time manipulation would sort of flip that on its head, and it would create a new, character or a new story arc that they had to fully flesh out. And it's like it felt like no one individual story got its full shine. And maybe that's by design. Maybe they wanted to make the player feel that right when you're getting invested, shit sort of flips on its head and becomes something new. Like I can understand that from a design perspective and sort of wanting to fuck with the player's head a little bit. But there was one story arc in particular where I was like, this is fucking compelling, like detective mystery sort of angle. And they didn't quite nail the landing, in my opinion. But staying right there with the adventure game theme, and the rapper's already breaking off of this one, so I'll go ahead and pop the seal there. We have As Dusk Falls, another adventure, Telltale style adventure game. This is one that, once again, played on Game Pass. When I first saw it, I was like, just, it doesn't look like artistically, the art style, the art direction. I was like, golly, this just is like not something that you look at, and it's not a visual stunner. It's not a visually pleasing game to look at, but the story's just so good. It's so, so good. So when I saw it was getting a physical, I was like, yeah, gotta add old As Dusk Falls to the collection. And next up here, we got a couple FMV games. We have American Hero. Can't really talk about this because I haven't played it, but I have been on a Wales Interactive FMV. I don't think this is Wales, but I've been on a Wales Interactive FMV kick. Just super simple, adventure games where you make a decision and it's these characters who like are real, people, real actors, and full motion video, and you're kind of just picking paths in a very, very simple adventure game fashion, but it's so, so chill. Really good one to play with a partner or a friend, or just super, super relaxing. And lately, a good relaxing game has been to my benefit for sure, for my sanity. But I also picked up Night Trap, the old infamous FMV game from back in the day. Never played it, so I was like, you know what? I guess I got to go back to the roots of this genre and check out some Night Trap. And then as well, Blacksad. I think this yeah, Under the Skin, PS5 version. It came out on PS4 in like 2019, 2018, and it was fine. It was just buggy when it came out. And so I'm hoping that this updated version be a little bit more cleaned up, a little bit more polished. And yeah, kind of it was just a detective, once again, sort of the choose your own adventure telltale style adventure game. And Yeah, I wanted to finish it back on the PS4, but the bugs were so damn annoying that I ended up putting it down. But picked it back up because I'm always down to do a little decision making and adventuring in game form. Nothing more relaxing than those games, in my opinion. Always like having one of those on the playlist or the queue, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But before we hop out of here, I do want to uh quickly mention, I know it's not PS5 related per se, but got to give a shout out to physical magazines, man. Game Informer in the mix with their own not sponsored, not getting paid for this, but they got their physical magazines, which they've been doing, but now they're doing it independently through their website. And I think that's fucking awesome. I read through the full Star Wars Outlaws preview. I think I did a podcast talking about everything that was in there. And yeah, so I haven't had a chance to read the Veilguard preview yet, but that's going to be my next up on the queue here. But yeah, just fucking awesome to have these coming in the mail each month, getting to check out some video game physical magazines. And yeah, so I just wanted to quickly shout that out. Once again, not a sponsor, not paid, but I do think it's cool. It's nice to have that back in the mix because I was getting them for a while with just my what is it, GameStop Pro member card, where you got the physical magazine each and every single month. And then one day I just stopped getting the magazines. I was like, okay, I guess that's not a part of the deal anymore. You would still get really good deals through your GameStop Pro member card. Um, discounts and like $5 off this and that. But like, so where the hell did those damn Game Informer magazines go? But yeah, the fact that they're doing it independently now, I don't know if um they had a I don't know if it was limited time, but it was like $20 for like 2 years or a year and a half or some shit. It was a really good deal. So it's like, absolutely. I will happily hop on board for that to support some physical video game magazines. But yeah, man, I think that is going to be it for the video today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all are having fun out there on the hunt, on the video game hunt, adding to the ever-growing backlog as we always are. But that's going to be it for me today. I hope to see you all in the next one. I think the next one that should come out would be I'm not sure how this will all come out. This actually might come out after the monthly rankings. Not really sure, but monthly ranking video. Got a video actually discussing the backlog coming soon. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, bell, click, all that good shit if you would like to. And we shall see you on the other side. Goodbye.